has been found floating on last year's waves. GK1132b.
Hello, thanks for stopping by. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I hope you heard it in the background. That was Radio Australia, and it's booming in this morning. And I'm really surprised because some other indications are that conditions have not been that good for shortwave listening. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. If I can get the right page here. Right here is Tabitha, and she does a YouTube show approximately once a week about space weather conditions, and she also mentions the effect of space weather on amateur radio and shortwave listening. And I caught her show this morning. It was a show that she released yesterday, and she talks about that the space weather conditions have not been good for amateur radio operators and shortwave listening for the past week or so once again, and that today, the 13th, conditions should be good, but only for like a day, and then they go bad for another 3 or 4 days. And I suggest you check out her channel. It's Tabitha Scovey, Skove, and like I say, she does an excellent job of presenting space weather conditions, and now she's adding more comments about the effects on amateur radio operators. I had asked her to do that. Whether she's responding to my query or not, I don't know, but she is doing it more than she did in the past. So check that out, and you kind of get an idea of what the listening conditions should be for the next few days and what they've been in the past. And that's the one thing about listening to shortwave radio is conditions can change instantly. And you might turn on your radio for 3 days in a row and just the radio's dead. You think it's broken or your antenna's falling down or something. And then the next day, boom, everything's coming in, all kinds of stations from all over the world. So you just have to be persistent and stick with it. It's going to come back. I had hoped that now that it's into the fall / winter time of the year that it would overall improve, but apparently the old sun up there is causing some havoc, so just had to bear with it. Another thing that gives me an indication that I've mentioned before is this, let me get back up to the top, spaceweather.news has a lot of graphic information. Now here's the one that I can understand, which is you can see there's some days where red and yellow, meaning reception is not that good, and then we had some green, and this is like over the past 24 hours. So yeah, this is saying I should be able to receive shortwave pretty good, which I am this morning. I'm doing pretty good this morning. If I come down here at the bottom where I was before, here's my little chart here. Not my chart, but here's this little chart that gives you a quick indication of HF band conditions. And you can see we got quite a bit of green here, especially 30 meters to 20 meters both day and night, which is the band I was listening to. So what I'm trying to say is don't give up on shortwave just because you had a couple of bad days. And what I did this morning is I went to, let me go back up. I went to short-wave.info, had a search on any station at this particular time. This is when I did the search. And then it gave me a listing, and it marks in red the ones that I should be able to receive. And sure enough, I was listening to 9580. Where are you? 9580. 9580. There. No, where 9? Oh, I'm not down there yet. Oh boy, I need new glasses. 9580 is Radio Australia. That's what I was listening to. It's booming in this morning. And if I come over here and I click on the flag, it will give me a map of where that transmitter is, and sure enough, this is coming from Australia. So it's not a local repeater that's 200 miles from me. It's all the way from Australia. And typically, when conditions are good, early in the morning or late at night, I can get Radio Australia just like it was next door. So that's good news. And like I say, if I would have decided whether I was going to listen to shortwave or not, long term, based on the past few days, previous days, I would have said it's dead. The band's dead. There ain't no shortwave anymore, and given up and putting my radios away and said I'd do some other hobby. But stuck with it, and sure enough today, right now, conditions are definitely good. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. Today's show is somewhere, okay, here it is right here, is my survey. A couple of shows ago, I asked you to go and fill out my survey once again so I can get kind of updates. Plus, we have a lot more new subscribers, which this survey was done originally back in February, I believe, of this year, and it was very informative to me to know what's going on. And I'm just going to quickly go over what have we gotten so far in the 2 days that the survey's been out there. We've gotten 24 responses. The first question was, how did you find the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel? And the overwhelming response was while searching for information on shortwave radio scanners and everything like that. So that's good. I'm hoping what happened is that you would do a search and then you find my channel. I'd also would hope that you would find my channel via my G Plus post and other people's G Plus post about my channel. Facebook I don't use that much, and then I do post on Twitter. So moving right along. Oh, this was a nice response from other YouTube channels. So that was cool to find that out. Which of the shows do you watch? And this was really surprising. Was the overall response 75% was all shows. Boy, that makes me feel good. Okay. What do you like about my shows? Check all that apply. The overwhelming response was at 87% and 91% was they provide useful technical information and I'm laid back and down to earth. I'm definitely laid back. Okay, are you a subscriber of my channel? 24 said yes, 100%, and nobody responded and said no. Where do you live? I was surprised. No, I was not. Well, I was not surprised that there were a lot of people from the U.S. that watch my videos. I was surprised that there weren't more from outside the U.S. Like here's one from Switzerland, Great Britain, Canada. And the reason I say that is because if I look at my subscriber list, there are quite a few people that live in Asia and Europe. So I was surprised more people didn't respond. Anyway, what are you interested in learning about? Check all that apply. Shortwave radios was the predominant things. Antennas came in second, and I kind of had a feel for that because typically my shows on antennas get a lot of views, and I plan to do more now that it's supposed to cool off outside and not be so hot here in Florida. We're supposed to have like 2 days of cool weather, and then it's back to the high 80s next week. I was really disappointed about this. Have you used my Amazon store? And I only got 2% that said yes. And gosh, I would say, talk about my Amazon store. Try to mention it when it's applicable and not just do a commercial. And the idea behind my Amazon store is not to get wealthy, because I definitely don't make that much money. But the idea is, you go through my Amazon store, you pick something, and then it takes you to the regular Amazon store. So it's not, I don't ship or return or anything directly. It's all done through Amazon. Mine is just a storefront. And when you do that, when you go through my store, Amazon knows that you did that. And when you purchase anything, then I get a small commission. Very small, but it's something. And then I take that commission in the form, it comes in the form of a credit. I don't get any money. I get a credit on Amazon. Then I can use that credit to buy things from Amazon to review my shows. Like yesterday, I got in the mail a new smart battery charger, and again, using credits that I got through your purchases. And I did a show about 3 shows ago about these shells for battery packs that you can you can open it up and you can put your own batteries in, which gives you the advantage of, if a battery, say you've got 5 batteries in there, if one of the batteries dies, you just take it out, throw it away, and put in a new one, and then your battery pack is brand new again. Unlike when you buy the sealed battery packs, and when something internal goes wrong, like one of the cells out of the 5 or however many are in there go bad, you just throw the whole thing away. So I'm doing some testing on these batteries because they're all flavors of the batteries, and the price ranges are all over the place. And the question is, how much does the quality vary? You run into problems where you get a cheap battery and you put it in with good batteries, and the cheap battery is going to bring down the good batteries. Those kinds of questions. So I'm going to do some testing there and do a couple of shows on that. So anyway, so much for my advertisement for my Amazon store. Would you like to be on my show? Boy, I was really disappointed on this. I only got one response, a yes response. And before, when I did this survey, I got about 100 responses, and I think I got 25% of the people wanted to be on my show. And unfortunately, when I asked in that survey, I says, if you answer yes, please send me an email so that we can get together and come up with a schedule to get you on my show. And that went nowhere. I didn't get any email addresses, and that didn't go anywhere. So I tried it again on this survey, and I prefaced it by saying, if you say yes, then I'm hoping that you will send me an email and we can set up a time for you to be on the air. So maybe that's why the yes responses are down. But again, I invite you to be on my show. You either can have a webcam and do audio and video, or you can just do audio. You don't have to have a webcam, just as long as you got a microphone input. And I, of course, used Hangouts on the Air. That's on the Google Plus pages. And then I mentioned I've attempted a couple of Hangouts on the Air. Are you interested in seeing more? 70% of the responses were yes. So I do plan on doing more Hangouts on the Air. I hadn't done one in quite a while. It was a little rusty, and we had one problem with the one I did a few days ago, in that we had some audio feedback that we thought we had fixed before the show started, but it came back a couple of times during the show, and I apologize for that. We're going to have to go back to using earbuds or headphones so there's no feedback. That's an easy fix. Next one was what things you would like to see on the Hangouts. 30% said live scanning on the bands. 30% said questions and answers, which we can combine all of these. And 26% said open forum where we just discuss different topics. So what I'm thinking about is scanning on the bands with Q&A. And one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to get some people on my show in a different part of the country, and we can scan the same frequencies and see what kind of reception we got. So that's the quick summary. Boy, I babbled for 15 minutes here on the 24 responses I've got. If you haven't responded to the survey, if you go back 1 or 2 shows where I mentioned the survey, there's a link there of how to get to the survey. You just click on that link. It takes you to the survey. You just fill in the blanks, basically. It's mostly check boxes. It's totally anonymous, so I have no idea who sent the responses, and I would appreciate you to do that. That gives me some insight into what I need to do on my shows. So that's the show for today. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.